Hey beauties, welcome back to my channel. So in today's video, I'm gonna be giving you guys an updated tour of my eyeshadow palette collection. I have done a makeup collection video here on my channel before, and I think that was filmed last year. So of course a year later, I've accumulated tons more, which I'm not proud of, by the way. What I actually need to be filming is a makeup declutter video because I do have quite a few palettes that I don't use, and just, you know, foundation that is expired, it needs to go in the trash can. This video is me strictly showing you my eyeshadow palettes. I didn't want the video to be too long, but if you guys are interested in seeing an overall video of my entire makeup collection, definitely let me know and I can film that video. But like I said, I just wanted to focus on the palettes today because I didn't want the video to be too long, given that there are quite a few and I want to show you guys every single one. Before we get into the video, if you are not already, make sure you subscribe to the channel so you can be a part of the beauty squad, and also give this video a huge thumbs up. Yes, without further ado, let's go ahead and get into this eyeshadow palette collection. So I know you guys probably already know this, but I keep my palettes in this little nightstand drawer that I found at HomeGoods. Here is what the first drawer looks like. Yeah, and then here's the second drawer. I love these drawers because they are fairly deep, so they do hold a lot. And they can obviously hold more than this, but I just don't have them filled to capacity right now just because I don't want to overly clutter. So that's the third drawer. So we're gonna go ahead and start with the first drawer. So first we're gonna start with all of the Huda Beauty palettes. And don't mind my nails, you guys. I need to get my nails done. They look a mess. I've been rocking like press-ons here lately, but right now I'm kind of out of press-ons, so yeah, that's why I don't have any nails on for this video. So the first one I have is the Huda Beauty, the Ruby Obsessions palette, Amethyst Obsessions palette, Emerald Obsessions palette. This one is the Sapphire Obsessions palette. So pretty. It has like a lot of different blues in it. This one is the Electric Obsessions palette. And I'm sorry if I'm going fast, you guys. I don't want this video to be too long, so yeah, this one is the Gemstone Obsessions palette. This one is the Neon Huda Beauty palette. The Nude Rich Huda Beauty palette. Definitely one of my favorites. It has a lot of chocolate colors in there, a lot of chocolate and mauve shades in there. And this one is the Nude Medium palette. So here is the Huda Beauty Rose Gold palette remastered. And this is what it looks like. It is also beautiful. This is the Huda Beauty New Nude palette. It is also one of my favorites. Just a nice everyday looking palette. This is the Huda Beauty Mercury Retrograde palette. So pretty, you guys. So freaking cute. This is the Dose of Colors I Love Sahari palette. I think that's how you pronounce it, but it's really pretty. Super beautiful. Here is a Makeup by Mario palette. Here is another Makeup by Mario palette. Here's a Pat McGrath palette that I have. Here is another Pat McGrath palette that I have. Here is the Modern Renaissance palette. That's what this one looks like. I'm sure you guys have all seen this palette before. The Prism palette by ABH. Ta-da. The Norvina palette from ABH. This is the Jackie Aina palette from ABH. The Riviera palette from ABH. Super pretty. The Alyssa Edwards palette from ABH. This one is definitely an all-time favorite, and I have never used this palette before, but I definitely need to because it is drop dead gorgeous. Carly Bible palette. It's definitely really pretty, really soft. Soft Glam palette from ABH. Ta-da. The Amrezy palette, one of my faves. So freaking girly. I love, 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 love this palette. This is the Dose of Colors Friendcation palette. So pretty. This is the Smoke Sessions palette from Melt Cosmetics. Like this. It has so many pretty greens in here. I love, love, love this palette. This is the Radioactive palette from Melt Cosmetics. Super colorful. The Impulsive palette from Melt Cosmetics, and it literally is so heavy it feels like a book. Pat McGrath Mothership palette, and I guess it's okay. It's not one of my favorites, but it is pretty. A Sample Beauty palette. It's the Immensity one. It's definitely super colorful. Here I have a palette from Nabla Cosmetics. This is the Secret palette. That pink shimmer shade is to die for, you guys. Here is the Poison Garden palette from Nabla. Here's what it looks like. The Per Barbie palette. Here's what it looks like. Okay, this one is the Sipping Pretty palette from Kylie Jenner. I believe she launched this palette when she turned 21. It's really pretty with a few pops of color. Is the Rainbow palette. That shade Fiji right here, I still want to use it and do a makeup tutorial with it, but it is so beautiful. It's neon pressed pigments. Cute. This has to be like one of my favorite palettes. Thanks so much, Mom, for letting me have this. I'm obsessed with this palette, and I don't remember how much it was, but I remember it being like super expensive. And I know at Nordstrom's they had it for like $80, and I'm like, oh my God, can we say price gouging? But this is so freaking cute. This is the Lime Crime Venus XL palette, and these burgundies in here are everything. Here I have the Melt Muerte palette. Just look at the color selection. It's everything, and it's so unique because I would never even think to put any of these colors together, but the color story is phenomenal. Here is the Celestial Storm palette from Dominique Cosmetics palette. Here are the Melt stackable eyeshadows. The first one looks like. Here's what the second one looks like. Here's what the third one looks like. Here's what the fourth stackable looks like. Here I have the Strawberry Dream palette. This one is super duper pretty. Brandy the Vicky palette. And it's a mess, you guys. So from Colored Rain, here is the Safari palette. These Colored Rain's shadows are just something else, y'all. Like, they are the most metallic shadows I've ever used in my entire life. And I kid you not, that's not even me being extra right now. That's like the real spill. This is the Vivid Pigments and Shadows palette from Colored Rain. Perfect Rainbow palette. And then I have my Norvina collection of palettes. This is the Norvina Volume 1 palette. What it looks like. Here's the Norvina Volume 2 palette. Here's what it looks like. So editorial, I love it. Here is the Norvina Volume 3 palette. Last but not least, here is the Norvina Volume 4 palette. Super duper cute. Super duper cute. Let's go ahead and move on to the second drawer. Okay, so the second drawer mostly consists of only Morphe palettes with the exception of the Jeffree Star Jawbreaker palette, which I'll go ahead and show you guys first. There's that. Really pretty. Here is the Morphe Pride palette. And then this is one of the bigger Morphe palettes. This is the 39L Hit the Lights palette. Really pretty. Love these three red shades at the top left corner. Such a gem palette from Morphe. So there's that. Here I have the Jaclyn Hill Volume 2 palette. I mean, look at the color layout. It is phenomenal, you guys. I am obsessed with this palette, like obsessed. Oh my goodness, so pretty. I should have used this palette today. Super cute. Here is the first Jaclyn Hill palette. Definitely still a favorite. Here is the 3503 Fierce by Nature palette. Love all the reds and oranges with the pop of green. Bling Boss palette. And here is the Dark Magic palette from Jaclyn Hill and Morphe. So this next Morphe palette I have is the 3502 palette. I believe this one has like a lot of browns in it. Super pretty. The 35M palette. The 35O palette. Very neutral. Very, very, very neutral. This one is the 35V palette. Last but not least from the Morphe drawer, this one is the 35H palette. Okay, so I guess we'll start off with the Juvia's Place palettes first. So the first one I have is the Wahala palette. It looks like it is so colorful, you guys. This is so pretty. So now we'll start with the minis. So I have the Chocolates by Juvia's. I have the Sweet Pinks. I have the Berries. Let's take the plastic off so you can see. I have the Taupes. I have the Violets. I have the mauves. Moving on over here, I have the Nomad. At first, I didn't really care for this palette, but then the more I started looking at it, the more I started to actually like it. I really like that yellow shimmery looking shade and this champagne shade right here in the middle. This is the Warrior palette. Is the Tribe. Called the Zulu palette. And I have 2 of the Zulu palette because I love the palette that much. And then this is the Masquerade Mini. It's filthy. Here is the Magic Mini. And here is the Nubian 2. Oopsies. Not least from Juvia's Place, here is the Nubian. Here is the Afric palette. Here is the Festival. And here is the Saharan 2. And this palette is the Black Magic palette from Uoma Beauty. So this is what it looks like. Love, love, love the shade right here called Foxy. The Tarteist Pro palette. This is a ColourPop Super Shock shadow in the shade Coconut. Really pretty. Looks like money. I have a Bobbi Brown shadow in the shade Camel. And then I have the NYX Ultimate Brights palette. Just like the little drugstore colorful palette that everybody started off with, which is actually really good and I still use it to this day. And then I have the Lunar palette from Tarte Cosmetics. NYX Professional Makeup Modern Dreamer palette. It's a nice beginner friendly palette. You have all your neutral shades plus a few pops of color if you want to test it out a little bit. I have my P. Louise Secret Center palette. Pan shades are like huge, like ginormous. I think I showed you guys these palettes in my last makeup collection videos because these are pretty old, but I'm just gonna go ahead and show you guys them again. This is the Too Faced Sweet Peach palette. I still love this palette so much, and it still smells like peaches. A whole 2-3 years later, it still smells like peaches. The Too Faced Chocolate Gold palette. I feel like Too Faced has the cutest packaging when it comes to makeup. This is the Urban Decay Electric palette. I still have not found a blue shade like that. It's everything. And we have the Urban Decay After Dark palette. So cute. The Urban Decay Moon Dust palette. Looks like that. It's a little dirty. The Lorac Unzipped Gold palette. An old palette, but it's so metallic, you guys. This is the Smashbox Full Exposure palette. Very neutral. So this is the Per Celebrate Your Selfie palette. This is the Moschino and Sephora eyeshadow palette, and it looks like a laptop. It's so freaking cool, y'all. It is so freaking cool. This is the Bretman Rock Wet n Wild palette. I filmed a makeup tutorial on this one, so go check it out if you have not already. So cute. I love, love, love that green shade so much. Okay, this is the Take Me Back to Brazil palette. Definitely an oldie but goodie, you guys. This is a throwback palette for real, okay? Like, this is definitely a good throwback palette. This is the Trendy in Tokyo palette by BH Cosmetics. I have not used this one yet, but I definitely want to. I may do like a colorful drugstore, beauty on a budget type makeup tutorial. Summer in Saint Tropez. LA Girl Hot Heat palette. I don't know why, but I always gravitate to these kind of colors so much. It just reminds me of water. It's just so tropical and just refreshing. There you have my updated 2020 eyeshadow palette collection. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, be sure to give this video a huge thumbs up. And if you have not yet already subscribed to my channel, be sure you click that subscribe button so that you guys are always notified when new content is uploaded. Thank you all so much for watching. I will see you beauties in the next video. Bye. Mwah.